I guess we can go ahead and get started. We always have this recorded for those who can't attend, so we're going to provide value for those who are here and those who will listen later. Welcome to Dirty Jeeto. Today we are discussing leverage trading for beginners, and we have a very special guest from Crypto Cafe who is going to answer all of our questions. I have to admit, I haven't had any practical application with leverage trading, so I am taking a back seat today, and I'm armed with a number of questions that I'll be asking. But would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Crypto Cafe?
Absolutely. Yeah, I might get a little better as we go along here. And if Murphy's Law, one of my key platforms, doesn't want to play, I'm hoping it will play nicely with me. But yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Um, we have a small group we call Crypto Cafe, and we have been trying to basically onboard folks into the crypto industry for, well, let's call it about almost 10 months now. I've been in the crypto space for about 4 years, managed to get into the height of it during COVID, lose my tail off pretty much, and learn a lot the hard way. And of course, the last, let's call it 4 months, totally expecting the 2025 bull run to fly. I've been learning these lessons all over again. So um, Crypto Cafe, we have a group of folks who spend the day trying to make a couple $100 a day, grinding it out, and then some of that is really just teaching people the basics. So one of the key tools to making life-changing wealth, as I'll call it, is learning and understanding the basics behind leverage trading. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say, before you ever do any leverage trading, you should certainly have a very thorough understanding of how to set limit orders, how to set stop losses, preferably how to set trailing stop losses if you can, trailing limit orders. And if you don't understand those, then those are something you're going to want to get a pretty detailed knowledge of before you get into leverage trading. Many folks do leverage trading and they don't realize it. They do what's called margin trading in Robinhood, Coinbase, Crypto.com. A lot of those tools will let you margin trade. And margin trade is essentially leveraging your existing stock or your existing crypto and borrowing the money from the vendor to trade, basically 2 for 1. So I'm trying to get one of my other platforms up. So if you'll bear with me just a moment. Let me ask a little bit of questions here at the audience so I kind of make sure I'm doing a class for beginners here, so I don't want to dumb it down too much, but I also don't want to oversimplify things. So maybe we could just let folks speak for a minute and tell me where they're at in their trading lifespan. Or is this your first year in crypto? Have you been in crypto for 3 or 4 years? Or how many of you have leverage traded before? We could do that either in the chat or we can open up to a few of the folks. Professor, have you leverage traded before?
Yes, I actually do leverage trade quite a lot. That is how I fund my meme coin addiction. So,
Yeah. Well, then you
yeah.
might have to guest lecture here for us.
Say again.
You
Yes.
may have to be a guest lecturer.
So just to make introductions, the professor is actually a valued part of the Dirty Jeeto team as well, and he is on the other side of the world, so hasn't been able to attend a lot of our spaces. But we talk about leverage trading all the time, and I've been trying to get some pointers and tips, and mentioned this topic and having it. So that's why he stayed up late to jump in here. He's definitely going to add some value to this conversation.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Appreciate you, bro.
And you, sir, how is your trading? How far along are you? The one that was just talking. I recognize the voice, just don't remember the name.
Late night. He's referring to you. Have you ever leverage traded before?
No, actually, no. I just kind of just buy and watch the charts. Um, when I was experimenting before with all the layer one tokens, I would literally just buy it. I wouldn't look at the charts at all. And sometimes I'd wake up, I'm like, oh, what happened? And that's how I started getting to get the feel for it more.
Yeah. So let me ask you, the other folks on here, anybody that's leverage traded before, let me know if you've leverage traded while I shut this alarm off.
I actually have never leverage traded. Kind of scared the crap out of me, honestly, just because you hear all the horror stories about it. But I've been in crypto a long time, and we're doing our first project, deving a coin for the first time. So it's all doing that first before I even leverage trade.
Well, I tell you what, being in the meme space is much more dangerous than leverage trading. Being in the meme space is probably the most dangerous minefield you can be in. So, um, if you learn some of the basics, and today I'm not going to be able to teach you enough to really say jump into leverage trading, but today we can start the conversation. We can pick the few key things. I like to say I dummy it down for Marines because I used to be in the Marine Corps, and then maybe the professor and others, if we want to get into some more advanced concepts, we can join together and do some real course materials. This is just kind of throw the topic out there. Let me take a step back. Kiefer, Mr. Sir, Sniper, you guys ever leverage traded before? Real quick. Looks like Daniel has.
Yeah. I've done just a little bit of leverage trading in the past, with like forex stuff, but nothing with crypto related things. But I also want to just welcome Kiefer Bunny. I was telling Moon about you a little bit, and I'm glad that you stopped in to listen. He's got a project that wants to, they're a community-based project, and anti-rogue community. Of course, do your own research, and I want to let him speak for himself maybe towards the end. Obviously, we're teaching the spaces here, but I'm just glad to see you in the spaces, brother. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
That and also welcome to Artify. We have not seen you in our space before, so welcome to you as well. And yes, Kiefer Bunny, he did mention you, and we're happy to let you talk about your project here shortly after we get into the topic.
Yeah, Daniel, I don't know if you want to speak. Go ahead, Kiefer. Sorry, did I miss you?
Yeah. Hey, sorry. I wasn't on, but what were you saying?
Yeah, so we'll keep it simple. I'll introduce Daniel, a friend of mine. Thanks for coming, Daniel. Daniel is one of the better web developers that we've worked with, and very good at a variety of things. But he has a bot there, not trying to take over the space, but his Artify bot can create some art, and we've been using his bot for a number of months now in some of our spaces. So appreciate Daniel coming by. I think he's from Switzerland, so he's on the other side of the world as well, probably getting ready for a late night cocktail and hit the pillow. So if nobody has any detailed things, we'll jump straight in. I don't know, Moon, if you're able to show video here. If you are, then I'll talk about a website that we can get up. If not, I don't know how your spaces works here. Do you have the ability to share video?
To be completely honest, I'm new at hosting these spaces, so if anybody else wants to chime in and tell me if that's an option here, I'm happy to facilitate, but I don't have any firsthand knowledge of that. We normally just have the conversation.
Okay. All right. We'll just have a conversation here. I'm pulling up right now, unfortunately, a very ugly Kraken.com account that I have that I started with about 10,000, and it's down to about 3,500 right now. And that's because I over leveraged. So I always like to start with that, because if I can scare you before you start leverage trading, then that's extremely important, because some of us in the degen space, especially when you get into meme coins, we're so ready to gamble with the money that we work so hard to come by and put it in coins for people that we don't really know or things of that nature. And I don't mean to be negative, but you've just got to be aware of some of the dangers. So when you get
You're
into
spot
leverage
on.
trading,
You're spot on.
yeah, look, I had a very ugly day 2 days ago, and I'm going to share that because, quite frankly, I lost a solid $20,000 in the matter of minutes. And if I maybe could have grabbed my laptop sooner, I was deployed on a project and thought for sure that the $8,000 or $10,000 I'd been living and leveraged the week prior, having to add on to my margin, was enough buffer that any one given day I'd have enough time, a few hours to add on some margin. And unfortunately, those of you not familiar with it, about 72 hours ago, one of the largest liquidations ever happened between March 10th and 11th. So literally just 48 hours ago, I lost about $20,000. And boy, it's really kind of disheartening to watch your money disappear. Now, on the flip side of that, in the early December timeframe, and again, even a little bit in January, I was making 15 grand a week by putting about $2,000 into play. So that's why people are so attracted to meme coins. That's why people are so attracted to leverage trading, is you can make a fortune. And one of the reasons I mentioned to Moon that I'm was interested in sharing some of these ideas and concepts are, I believe we have about 2 weeks before we see any level playing field in the crypto space. Could be as much as 2 months to 4 months before we see the true portion of the banana zone and the 2025 bull market come to light. I'm sure everybody has their own thoughts there. Maybe we should just have a whole space on that idea and get some people to come and talk it out, because it takes a village to figure out how this stuff is going to work. But yesterday is a good example where, we've been waiting and wondering what was going to happen to XRP. We all know that XRP has one of the better tools to basically become the new DeFi credit card industry, so to speak. If you're not familiar with that, then maybe we should have a talk on that at a later date. But XRP is one of those that we knew as soon as the SEC drops their lawsuit against XRP, there'd be an 8 to 20%, immediate bump in the XRP market cap. So just taking a glance at XRP yesterday, I sat down and said, okay, well, this is a no-brainer. As soon as this has been in my mind, as soon as XRP's some information starts coming out about the lawsuit, then I want to make a play on XRP. So I believe it was yesterday around mid-morning, probably around, I'm going to forget exactly when it was, probably, I don't know, 8, 9 a.m. The word came out that that the SEC was going to drop the lawsuit. So I turned to my computer and I said, all right, what are we looking at today? XRP was sitting at around $3 and it was around 340, 345, 350, somewhere near. And I said, yeah, okay, this is a pretty simple play. So I asked myself, how much do I want to risk? How much do I want to make? Well, I've got a $21,000 loss I've got to make up, preferably make it up in the next 2 weeks before the bull run starts. So, well, if I can make maybe $7,000 profit, in a day off of XRP and making that play, then just maybe I can kind of get back to where I wanted to be. So actually, I'm looking back at my notes here. XRP was around 3.25, maybe 340. Day before yesterday. So I said, okay, I don't think XRP is going to hit $4, but I think it could add on a quarter to 50 cents. So right around $3.30, I decided to make a play with XRP. I decided to do a 5x leverage. My goal was to try to make about 2,500 to $5,000 and see if I could, pull some of my losses back. So let's keep the math simple. I wanted to make $3,000. So with a coin that's sitting on $3,000, for you to make $3,000 doing normal trading, that coin's going to have to double. and it'll probably take XRP a year to double in price from $3 to $6. Some people say it'll never make it that way, but we could talk about that at a different time. But from a leverage trading perspective, you can do that a lot faster. So let's say I bought $3,000 worth of XRP yesterday, and if I wanted it to double and make 3,000, I'm going to have to wait probably a year or two, and it's going to hit 6,000. I can take my profit. Well, there's another thing I can do, which I did yesterday. I took $3,000 and I did 5x leverage on XRP. All right, so 5x leverage on XRP. Different platforms are going to let you leverage different ways. They're going to let you leverage anywhere between 2x, which is really margin play, to up to 50x, depending on your experience, your background. And before we get off here, we'll talk about some of the what I would say are the better places to learn to trade leverage, especially if you're new to the game. But I decided I was going to try to make at least $3,000. So I said, all right, let me put $3,000 at risk to make $3,000. There are some people that say you should try to make 3x your money if you're going to put money into play. But I'm hurt a little bit. I'm trying to recover a $21,000 loss in a week. So I decided I'm going to try to just make $3,000. So, okay, here we go. I decided to put $3,000 at risk. I'm going to buy basically $3,000 worth of XRP. I believe I can get it to go up almost 30 cents. All right, so 30 cents for those who I'm using not the exact numbers from yesterday, but I'm using numbers that hopefully can be simple to follow. If XRP goes up 30 cents, what's the percentage that we've increased our money? Yeah, we're going to put you on the spot and make you do math. Kiefer, if I buy $3,000 and XRP goes up to 30 cents at a $3,000 or $3 price, what's the percentage that we've just increased?
10%.
That's right. That's perfect. So if I buy any coin out of the market and I buy $3,000 worth, and if it goes up 10%, then we're in really good shape. But now if I 5x leverage my money and it goes up 10%, Kiefer, how much money have I made?
50.
We've made 5 times 10%. We've made 50%. All right. Now I'm going to put somebody else on the spot. So if I really wanted to make $3,000
Thank goodness.
yesterday, now it's going to get more complicated. So if I really want to buy $3,000 worth of XRP and I really want to make double my money, all right, I want to make double my money, but I think it's only going to go up 10%. Then how am I going to do that? How much leverage am I going to have to play? Anybody?
10x?
I think I'm going to have to 10x my money. Correct. 10x my money. So, all right. So to take $3,000, I'm either going to have to 10x leverage it. I'm going to have to, or I'm going to have to add another $3,000. So that's what I figured out yesterday. If I really wanted to make $3,000 in a day, I was going to have to put $6,000 in play and hope for a 10% increase in XRP. So that is what I decided to do. Now, here's where the math gets fun. The platform I'm trading on will let me up to 5x my XRP. So I buy it at $3.25. I buy $6,500 worth. I have decided to 5x my money. So if I buy $6,250 worth and I'm 5x of my money, how much money do I have in play?
$30,000?
I have $31,250 in play. That's correct. Where does that money come from? Anybody?
Yeah, it comes from the broker.
It comes from the brokers. The Kraken owners are loaning me money. I have $6,250 of my money, and I have $24,000, basically almost $30,000 of their money in play. Why would somebody take that risk? Why would somebody loan me $30,000 against the play on XRP? Anybody know?
Yeah, because they're safe.
I don't
Because
know
as soon
that.
as
Your
it
money.
drops below a certain percentage, you're out completely. They're not going to risk anything. They're only risking what you're willing to put up.
That's right. They're not really risking anything. But why do they want to even bother with it? What's the purpose?
Because if it goes up in price, they're still going to get their token back.
Let's put it simple. Why are we all here? We are all here to make money. People are willing to loan me $25,000 or $30,000 against my $6,000 because they have the technology in place because they're going to make money on me. They're going to get, number one, my trading fees on Kraken. Kraken Pro probably charges a 0.5 to 1% trading fee. So they're going to get the trading fees, whatever I'm buying. If I buy $32,000 worth of XRP, 0.5 to 1% of that is in their pocket. So that's at least three, whatever that 1% is. When I go to sell my XRP on leverage, that's $32,000 I'm selling. Again, they're getting 1% of that. Plus, they're charging me a premium price on borrowing the money to buy the XRP on leverage. All right. That premium price is a very important number. We can talk in a little bit more advanced class, but when you start seeing what the premium price is to borrow against XRP right now, it's not very high. That means people have faith that XRP is going to really probably go and is a pretty safe bet. You start trying to borrow against Bitcoin right now, it's not a very high premium price because Bitcoin may go down another $3,000 to $7,000 at the worst end of it, probably to 73K. But Bitcoin has a whole lot of upside. So to borrow money to do a 5x leverage on Bitcoin is not very expensive. So, but most important thing, and I don't remember who said it, it might have been Kiefer or Late Night, is they're not worried because the technology is set up that if I do not protect myself, it will automatically stop me out and liquidate me. The term liquidate is very, very important term. Okay, liquidate basically means they are closing my position on the 5x leverage or 3x leverage, and they are liquidating the money I put up on spot trade as leverage. Okay, that's where the term leverage comes in. So my $6,250 is what I'm putting at risk. What is the company putting at risk that's loaning me the money? They're not really putting anything at risk because they have the technology to set up that the minute they lose more than $6,249, they liquidate me and they take my money and they close all of my positions. So they'll never lose not one single dollar. They will close the position. So if I put up $6,250, they're going to get their 1% for trading fees on both ends. All right. So I'm going to lose $62 on both ends. So I'm going to lose $120. They're going to close me at $6,250 minus $62 plus a little bit of interest. Okay. So they cannot lose. The technology is set up. The only risk they take is their technology failing to execute properly. And they have a lot of experienced technology behind the scenes to make sure that works. So I'll go over that number again. I had to put up $6,250 to borrow basically $31,250. So if at any point in time that 5x leverage play, which is at 31,250, if I subtract 6,250, if at any one time that play gets down to $25,062, it's going to close and liquidate me. And they're going to take my $6,250, which includes $120 in fees for them. Okay, so let me see if everybody kind of followed that. It was a little bit complicated. I was trying to look for a good real world example, and the XRP play yesterday is the best one that I could come up with. So,
Yeah, is that your example to scare us? Because I'm very risk averse, and so now I'm looking for a reason to leverage trade
you should.
instead of not.
Well, yeah. If you saw my accounts down 80,000 basically inside of 8 weeks, you would understand there's a lot of reasons to learn and get really good at it before you do it. And I have a way for you to do that, and I'll share that in just a minute. Let me go
So
through it.
XRP
basically,
got some good news today.
so
Go ahead.
so basically, if you're good at reading charts, you could instantly go crazy with your money.
Oh yeah, you can go crazy with your money. Everybody's going to be willing to let you trade on leverage. There's a dozen platforms you can sign up and not even give them KYC. Does everybody know what KYC is?
Yes, where you identify yourself through
Yeah, that's right. There,
legal
know your
legal
customer is mostly
identification.
know your customer is mostly a U.S. term where you have to identify your name, your social security number, your address, so they can prove who you are, so that the U.S. government can get a piece of the taxes that you owe them for either your normal profit at the end of the year, or if you're basically making capital gains and trading often and doing well, then they're going to want their piece of that profit. So KYC is mostly a U.S. term. I think they use it in Europe as well, so that the government can get their tax money. But anyway, the short of it is there's a dozen platforms who don't even care what your name is, because they just want your money. So that's why I want to explain to you is if you run into a platform that will trade without even knowing your name and your experience, they only want your money. So they're not looking out for you. So to pick a good platform, if you're out there leverage trading and you didn't have to divulge your social security number, you didn't have to divulge your name, then you might want to just double check where you're trading, because it may not be as safe or secure as you think. Okay. They probably don't have any reporting requirements to talk to the federal government or any particular auditing firm about how often they're liquidating people. So find a good platform, and I'll talk about a few different ones. You can already do leverage trading on Robinhood. You can do leverage trading on Coinbase. One that I use most often is Kraken, and I use Kraken Pro. And maybe we'll do another session where I can come on and show you how I do that leverage trading. But on Kraken Pro, they automatically set, based on the risk of a particular coin, how volatile it is, they automatically set what level of leverage you can do. So in Kraken, there's probably about 200 different coins that I can leverage trade. Unfortunately, I still can't trade our Jeeto coin here, Dirty Jeeto. So if we ever get that big, then we're going to be really excited. If we can leverage trade Dirty Jeeto on Kraken, that means we've made it into the top 250 or 300 coins, which is pretty awesome.
We'll get there. It's just going to take a while.
Go. That's right. So yesterday I leverage traded $3.25. I put in $6,500 actually. Now I'm looking at my notes here. So $6,500. Let me look here, see if I 5x leveraged it. I 3x leveraged XRP. So I didn't 5x leverage it because I had been hurt pretty good. So I decided to 3x leverage. So I basically had $19,500 leverage. Okay. And I got XRP at $3.25. So 19,500 divided by $3.25. I had 6,000 XRP coins. Okay. I closed my position at $3.57. So 6,000 coins times $3.57 made $21,420 total. And does everybody remember how much I originally put in? Let me do those numbers again for you, because this is the hard part that people will get confused. All right, I took $6,500 and I bought XRP at $3.25. So I bought 2,000 coins. Make sure I got this right. I'm sorry, excuse me. Let me do the math again here. I took out $6,500. I 3x leverage it times 3. That gave me $19,500. Right? Divided by $3.25. That gave me 6,000 coins. I closed my position at $3.57. So I closed my position at 21,420. All right. Make sure I got my math right here. Apologies for the math. I should have done all this and had no PowerPoint slides, would make life easier. But long story short, I put $6,000 at risk and I made $14.20 on a 27 cents. Am I getting that right? Yeah, 27 cent move. I made 0.27 cents times 6,000. I made $1,620 yesterday, minus about 120 in fees and interest. So I made $1,500 by putting $6,000 at risk, and I made it in about 3 hours. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I was looking for. I was trying to make 3,000, and I just didn't feel comfortable going to sleep on my money, and so I closed the position at 3,000. I'm sorry, at $3.57. I look back at yesterday's analytics here real quick. XRP went as high as $3.72. So if I had taken my 6,000 coins and sold at $3.70, let's just say $3.70, then I would have made 3.70 minus 3.25. I'd have made 45 cents times 6,000. I would have made $2,700 minus 120. So I could have made 25.80 yesterday. Between, I think I purchased around, looking back at my numbers here, I think it was around 10:45 on maybe 10 or 10:45, and closed the position right around neither here nor there. Took less than 12 hours. Basically made $1,500. If I'd have had the stones to stick it out through today, this morning at 7 a.m., the play hit $3.72. If I'd have had a trailing stop loss, which I usually set at a 10% gain and a 4% trail, meaning it's going up more than 10%. If it comes back 4%, it sells. So I'd have to go back and do the total analytics, but it looks like it would have worked out just well if I'd have went to bed, because it never had a 4% trail until it started settling back down, and it would have executed right around $3.68. So I could have set a trailing stop loss and went to sleep on it, but I've been a little gun shy. So enough of that. That's too much math. I think everybody understands the concept. Doing it a dozen times is the best way to go. So here's what I'll share with you. Let's move real quickly into some recommendations and places to trade, and then we can open it up the floor and talk more details. So on Kraken, they'll let you trade Bitcoin at 5x. They'll let you trade Solana at 4 or 5x. They'll let you trade Ethereum was at a 5x. Ethereum's been so unpredictable lately, they may have switched Ethereum to a 4x trade. Anybody familiar with Litecoin? We'll pause there.
Yes, I have a little bit of Litecoin.
All right. Anybody else?
I definitely FOMO'd on Litecoin.
What makes you want to have Litecoin? Any one of you?
The upside, and it's a bigger risk but bigger reward than to try to put as much money into Bitcoin and make the same kind of returns.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of things like Solana and Sui can certainly make higher returns potentially than Bitcoin. Anybody out there a gambler? Anybody like to gamble?
We are here
We
in
all
the
are.
meme coin space, and I'll take this
We
time
are
for
all
a
gamblers.
We're all addicted.
I will take this time for a Dirty Jeeto shameless plug. While you can gamble your life away on other meme coins, we are here trying to educate the community. As you can see, we have knowledgeable people that are working with us, and we hope that you join us in our Telegram and in the VC and get to know the community, and know that while no investment is completely safe, and this is not financial advice, we are here to stand the test of time at Dirty Jeeto, and we want to welcome you to come and introduce yourself to our community. Now go ahead and continue,
No,
please.
that's perfect. I'm glad you did that, because I was finding myself getting a little long-winded in the numbers here. We've got 4, 8, 12 people, so we don't want to bore anybody to death. So we're all gamblers, right? But does anybody like to bet on sports?
Made $100 on the Super Bowl.
There you go. So how did you bet? Do you remember how you bet on it? Did you use DraftKings? Did you use
I think I put up some of my chronos on crypto.com.
There you
Yeah,
go. Yeah. So
crypto.com had a really good options list that you could bet on, and that was pretty fun.
yeah, they're getting they don't like missing out on this market, and that's why I think all of them. I think that's why Coinbase is moving down the base chain. They'll probably open up a meme coin space soon. They were going to open it up, and I think they've backed off lately. A lot of them are going to open up a meme coin space because there's so much money to be made in this meme space with all the trading fees.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kronos is a perfect example. So on a lot of the offshore gambling sites, you basically have to buy Litecoin and you trade it over into the offshore site, and that's how you send your money to America's Card Room or to probably about 30-40% of all the offshore gambling sites use Litecoin. And so I bring Litecoin to the table because that's my probably, unless something new happens, that's my next play. Because Litecoin is going to be very important here in the coming few days. Anybody know why?
No, please enlighten us.
I'm going to let it
What was the
pause for a
question?
minute. See, Litecoin, because it's used very heavily in the offshore gaming industry, is going to become very important in the coming few days to weeks. Does anybody know why?
No idea.
March Madness.
Isn't it that new law?
It's March Madness. So if you all are watching your TVs, the women's conference championships are wrapping up in basketball. Men's conference championships start going into this weekend, and then we'll roll straight into the NCAA tournaments. So probably no fewer than about $2 billion will be spent on gaming in the coming 3 weeks. So when I look at Litecoin, and I'm just glancing at it here, and I made a mistake because I was looking at that yesterday as well. I'm seeing that Litecoin is probably going to go against the grain. So even if the market tends to go down this weekend, going into this weekend, one of those coins, and this is what we have to do during this really challenging market, and this is why I love what Moon and the rest of you guys are doing in Dirty Jeeto. You're giving a space for people to come and talk and chat. And at the end of the day, it's not particularly about just one meme coin or a dozen meme coins. It's about making money. And that's what we're all here to do. We're all here to make money. And if we do it as a community, we can do a little better job. So, one of the things I can offer you is keep an eye on the gambling coins that are coming up. We're all degens. We're all gamblers. We may not be degenning into the sports arena, but about 200 million of our friends will be in the coming 3 to 4 weeks. People will go to Vegas and they'll start betting like crazy for the next 3 to 4 weeks on this space. So Litecoin could be one of those coins.
So I have a question for you with that. Are you when you say Litecoin is your next play, do you have plans to leverage Litecoin or just as a a normal buy investment?
I do. So number one, I'm going to spot trade it because I like to have some Litecoin in my portfolio regardless, because I also like to play poker occasionally, and I'll either trade my Bitcoin, send my Bitcoin off, or I will I like to have some Litecoin. So Litecoin is sitting around $80, $85. I was hoping to pick it up at 85 is my spot trade. So I have a spot buy-in at $84.99. And so I want to buy about $8,000 worth of Litecoin. So then I'm going to take that $8,000 worth of Litecoin and I'm going to leverage it 4x. So if I buy $8,000 worth of Litecoin, folks, and I leverage it 4x, how much will I have in play?
It's like 36, no?
32
8
grand?
times 4 is 32,000. That's right. So I have 32,000. All right. So I want to try to get my $8,000 right below 85. Let's just use 85 as our number. So if I buy $8,500 worth of Litecoin, and I'm going to 4x it, so then you can pull out your trusty old calculator, and if everybody wants to do this with me, this will help you so much. So I'm going to buy $8,500, or let's say $850 to keep it simple. So we're not really taking a big risk. Let's buy $850 worth of Litecoin tonight. It will probably drop below $85. So we're going to get it at $84.98 or $84.99. All right. So I buy that $850 and I'm going to 4x it. So I'll have $3,400 into play. And I believe that I will catch Litecoin probably over 100 to 120 bucks before March Madness is over. So let's just go 105. So I'm hoping we get from 85 to 105. So I'll make $20 a coin, basically. All right. So if I buy a Litecoin at $85 and I buy 8,500, then I have bought 100 coins. If I can get it to 105, at 105, that's 20 bucks a coin times 100. I will make $2,000. So one of my goals is to try to make $20,000 in March. And then I can make up the difference in my loss. So if I can buy Litecoin at 85 bucks, and you have to watch it real close, you have to set your stop losses. But if I can buy Litecoin at 85 bucks and it gets back to 105, which shouldn't be a very difficult feat. 105, if you look at the chart, any of you sitting in front of a computer, you can look at the chart and you can see it's going to have resistance around 105, resistance again around 110. And then once it breaks through 110,
I think the professor just ran to buy Litecoin right now. He just cheated out of here.
He may have. So what I'm going to do before I today, in the next few hours, one, while I'm learning more about our coin, I'm going to raid and stuff this evening, but I'm going to close a few of my positions as I'm watching Dirty Jeeto this evening. My girlfriend and I have decided we're going to go for a nice long walk. Then we're going to come back, and I'm going to have a few cocktails tonight. It's Thursday night. I'm going to close a few of my positions until I have $8,500 in my positions, and I'm going to try to buy. I'm going to go to sleep tonight, and I'm going to put in a spot purchase for $8,500 and a margin purchase for 8,500 times 3 for about $25,000 of.
I got a quick question for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you worry about the psychological resistance levels like 100 when you're talking, just like coins that
Absolutely.
are in $900,000, $950,000 market cap, and when they reach that $1 million market cap, you're always going to get the psychological resistance. I know we're always looking at charts, but you always got to look at the psychological resistance levels.
Yeah, you are 100% correct.
So you'd be safer to go $99 and do a little heavier leverage than 105 with a little less, right?
Yeah. So to be honest with you, what I will really do is I'll probably take out my initial $8,500 but somewhere between 96 and 100. I'll take out my initial 8,500 because I figure that'll probably take about 4 to 6 days to get to that level because the way the market's going. Now, if it happens to hit it this weekend, I would be super excited. But I'm going to protect myself much better than I did because I just took a really bad loss this last week. And it's really just been par for the course. So far, 2025, I don't owe the IRS anything. They owe me. So I've lost too much money. But yeah, those are natural resistance levels that people have a tough time seeing it go past 100. What's weird is Litecoin is a little bit unique. If it hits 100 2 or 3 times, it'll bust right through it, most likely. Because it's about the betting and the gambling on sports. So I ran into a good friend of mine a few months ago. We were working a project together, and he was talking about Litecoin. And actually, it's kind of funny because we were at this same area around 80 to 88 bucks. Litecoin around the Super Bowl probably should have hit 150, 160. I'm looking back to January, and I'm seeing 140. Yeah, so it may not have hit 150, 160, but it hit 140 around the time of the Super Bowl. So I believe if the market isn't really miserable and there's any type of relief bounce, that Litecoin will probably go back to 120 to 140. So I'm going to pull my first 8,500 out right around that natural resistance around $100. I'm going to shoot for around 105 to pull out about 50% of the rest of my money. And if it starts rocketing past that, then I'm going to let the rest of it ride to about 120 to 130. If I do that on an $8,500 play, if things go well, I've estimated I'll pull out about $30,000 in profit. And that's how I'm going to try to recoup some of my losses. But before we get too far down that path, that's just one particular coin. This is why having group meetings like this every few days is very important, because some of you are going to learn something. Some of you may have known yesterday that that XRP was about to come, that the SEC was about to come out with some news. So if I'd have been more prepared, I might have made a deeper run into XRP. Instead, I just tried to clip a few. I was trying to clip $3,000, and I made about $1,250 or $1,500 to begin getting my losses back. So having these discussions is very important. That's kind of what we do at Crypto Cafe, and that's why I love what you're doing here in Dirty Jeeto. It's just a good place to come and talk to each other. And I love the fact that Moon is talking to you guys and gals about learning stuff, and you all are sharing stuff with each other, because I hear a lot of the voices from Coke and some other projects where we've all learned some hard lessons in the last month or two. So here's one I'll share with you. There is a website, and I can't bring it up right now, but it's called Bitfunded. Bitfunded is the best way to learn how to leverage trade. Okay. If you're familiar with Banter Bubbles, which I think is one of the coolest websites, I try to have my Surface Pro on Banter Bubbles every morning when I wake up, because sometimes it's just so hard to sit down at the computer and get right back into degen and in. But when I see Banter Bubbles and I see green, it gets me excited because I think I'm making a profit. When I see red, it gets me excited because I'm like, there's got to be some buying opportunities here. I just got to find what they are. But if I had a group of people like you guys and the Dirty Jeeto here surrounding me, pointing stuff out that we can all talk about, whether it's meme coins or layer ones or whatever, it makes things so much easier. So Bitfunded will allow you to not really use any of your money. The most you can put to risk is $299. So what Bitfunded allows you to do, if you all are sitting at a computer, you can pull it up right now. For some reason, my VPN is blocking it for me, so I have to fix that. But always use a VPN, by the way, because you start leverage trading, you're just everything you do trading, you're exposing yourself to someone potentially cracking your credentials, finding out a way to cheat you out of your money. So always use a VPN. But on Bitfunded, they'll allow you to pay $79. They'll give you a $5,000 fake account. In 5 days, if you can make an 8% profit trading 5 days, doesn't have to be 5 consecutive days. You can trade 5 days over the next 10 days. If you can make an 8% profit trading 5 days, then they will graduate you to phase 2, which is basically another 5 days of trading and making 8% profit. Then at the end of the 2 phase period, that $5,000 becomes your real money, and you get to leverage trade that $5,000. So if I have $5,000 of real money and I can leverage trade it 5x on Bitcoin, how much Bitcoin can I buy?
25,000.
I could buy $25,000 worth of Bitcoin. That's right. So let me ask you, how many of y'all think Bitcoin is going to go up?
I do.
Easier to ask.
It'll go back up. Yeah.
That's right.
I think it's going to go down before it goes back up.
So one of my making life-changing wealth decisions has been, I'm going to have at least 5 of these Bitfunded accounts. Okay, so follow me. So for the next 2 weeks, if you trade and you succeed in 2 weeks, the only money you put at risk is $79. If your account goes below 8%, they close your account. All right, they take your $79 and you're done. If you make it to the full 10 days, then they give you the $5,000. And if your account ever goes below 8%, they liquidate your account. All right. So what you have to do is you have to get in there and succeed at just making 8% profit. You cannot lose 8%. So you have a 16% window that you can play with. All right. And there's a lot more to this. But here's one of my plans. I'm going to have 5 of these accounts times $80. So it's going to cost me whatever that is, 400 and something bucks, to have 5 of these accounts. And if each one of these accounts I can buy $25,000 worth of Bitcoin, in theory, I can buy one whole Bitcoin and a little bit more and leverage trade it. Where do I want to get the Bitcoin at? What price do I want to buy Bitcoin at? Does anybody have a guess how low it's going to go before it starts going back up?
Around 75.
70K.
I heard a 75. What'd you say, Moon?
I think 75
I
as well.
said 70K is what I said. It could go as low as 70K.
Yep. There's some natural resistance around the 73 to 74K level. And then I'm sure there's some other more natural resistance. So one of the things that keeps me motivated, that if this market keeps going down, then what I want to do is have more of these bit funded accounts and be through the 10 days of trading, so that when I think that Bitcoin has finally turned the corner, if I can buy $100,000 worth of Bitcoin as it makes, let's call it a 2 or a 3 month run, once you buy it at the lowest possible and it keeps going up from that point, as long as it never dips below the original 8%, then you're just going to keep riding it up. You can actually keep adding on margin to it if you want to. So my goal is to make myself one entire Bitcoin off of the bit funded trading accounts. Now you can do a $5,000 category. You can do a $10,000 category. I think it costs you $99. You can do it, I think, a 25 and a 50K. So you can do those challenges. And the only money you're putting at risk is your $79 or your $99. Or if you want to do the big daddy, I think it's 25K, they'll let you trade. That's $299. That's why I like bit funded so much. It is a challenge. You have to trade 5 days successfully. So it's okay if you decide to not trade for a couple of days in a row. Your account just stays void. You close everything and you come back when you're ready. And this is why I was excited to maybe even offer this today, is to tell you all about Bitfunded. So we can come on at another time. We can walk through Bitfunded in the next few days. We can do another session of this, so we can show you how to do it. But I'll be opening up probably 4 or 5 Bitfunded accounts this coming week, anticipating that the market could start to fly as early as the 28th or 29th. It could start to fly next weekend if they lower interest rates. I don't think they will. But I do, unfortunately, believe we're probably in for 60 days before the market starts to go up, because I don't think the Feds will lower interest rates probably for another 3 months. Until they lower interest rates, we're going to be dealing with the sideways market, is my guess. I'd love to say it's the other way around, but we can always be surprised and be happy. But in the interim, what I'm going to do is practice with these Bitfunded accounts. And if I ended up with 3 or 4 Bitfunded accounts approved and ready to trade, and I take, $20,000 and I 4 or 5x leverage it on Bitcoin, I can buy almost one whole Bitcoin. And as long as I set my stop losses, then in theory, the most I can lose is the $79 or $99 I paid for the account. So I'll leave you guys on that. There's a number of other trading platforms, but if you want to do Kraken, I'll actually even send you guys a link. If nobody's using Kraken, Kraken does give a little bit of referral fees for folks who, if you sign up to somebody else's referral. So don't forget that when you're in this business, what we call the juice, everywhere you can make a little juice is important. So if you've got friends and family and they start trading on Coinbase, you better be giving them your Coinbase link so you can make a few dollars off of their trades, because that's important money that's left on the table sometimes. So I'll stop there and take some questions.
Now, normally in the meme coin space, we don't accept links because of all the scammers, but I will happily accept that link from you because I definitely want to get into that. And I'd also like to say thank you so much for the Bitfunded play. It absolutely sounds like a way that our community can start practicing this concept of leverage trading for little risk. I know you guys are risking more than that every week on shit coins and bringing some of the profit back to Dirty Jeeto, which is here to stay. But that's definitely a great resource. So we really appreciate that. Now I'll be quiet and let you guys ask your questions. I'm sure there's quite a few.
Sometimes it's confusing, and we can do this again. Leverage trading is not easy. The math seems to be tricky sometimes.
Yo, Crypto.
Yes, sir.
What's the URL for this Bitfunded, if you don't mind me asking? I'd love to do a little research.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's let me just type it in here. It's bitfunded.com. bitfunded.com. And I think most of you, again, some of you may have to turn your VPN on. It may or may not be allowed in your country or your state, but I think Texas might be one of those states you're going to have to turn a VPN on and just pretend to be in another state for whatever
Thanks for
reason.
sharing, man.
Yeah, bitfunded.com. If I could, for some reason, my VPN is not letting it go through right now. So, but it's pretty simple. When you get in there, it's going to give you the option to start a challenge. The other thing I like about Bitfunded is it has classes that it encourage you to take as well. It keeps popping up and reminding me that I'm only 10% into my classes. So I like the fact that they try to encourage people, because at the end of the day, it's basically owned by Banter Bubbles. So Banter Bubbles, I'm not trying to put a plug in for them, but Sheldon the Sniper and Kyle Dupes the Whale, those are people that I'm listening to every day, trying to learn from them, and creating that broader community to learn from. But yeah, bitfunded.com. I'll send you all the Kraken link. I definitely encourage you to practice. Even if you go into Bitfunded and you don't pay for the service, you can still take the classes, I believe, for free. So go in there and create yourself an account and learn to take those little classes. Anybody else got any questions? If you're trading on a website where they let you do 20 and 50x, they just want your money, guys. So unless you have $1 million, I probably would not be trading on a place where they let you do 20 and 50x, because basically if you're trading 20x leverage, all your coin has to do is take a 2% dip, and you're basically, I think it's a 4% dip, and you're getting basically liquidated. So just be very, very careful trading anything more than a 5x leverage.
Thank you very much. I just want to take a second real quick to ask the professor, do you have anything to add to the conversation? I know that you are one of the audience members that has some experience with leverage trading, and how does your experience compare to that of our guest? And is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
No, Moon, I totally agree that nothing more than 5x. I've learned hard lessons in the past. That it was a long journey to get to being stopped liquidating yourself. But as I told you the other day, I don't go more than 3 to 5x. Very low leverage trades, low risk leverage trades, and my stop losses are. Oh, I won't say it's very tight, but I have stop losses in place, and then I've got market orders or limit orders underneath my stop losses to open the trade again at that price, which always keeps my trades open, and I take advantage of that dip. Although my stop loss hit, I just open a new position below that stop loss.
Yeah, very good advice.
Okay, thank you very much.
What do you use, Professor? Where do you do your trading?
I use a platform called BitGet. I think Moonchild tried the other day, and it's not available in the US. But BitGet is my personal experience. It's a very nice platform.
Yeah. I think I have an account on BitGet. Does it require KYC? I think it's in Europe. Maybe.
Yes, it does.
It does, yeah. I use it too, guys. Same thing. It's I think they'll give you up to 125x leverage.
Yeah.
So I prefer the isolated spot market, because there I can take profits up along the way, and I don't really close trades anymore. I mean, I like XRP and XLM. I buy it at $2 and sell it whenever it goes up, and then I just add to my trade when it comes back to the bottom. That's the way I do it, but a lot of people may differ. I just like the low risk, because I used to mess around with higher leverage, and I couldn't understand why I'm getting liquidated the whole time. And it's the high risk is just not worth the reward if you keep failing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, good to see you, Skulator. But yeah, BitGet's a good platform. Just definitely watch yourself, because you can accidentally hit 20, think you're doing a 2x leverage, and you're doing a 20x leverage. And boy, it sucks watching 6 months of hard labor go out the window in a click of a button, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. When you get liquidated at a 20x leverage, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions for our two leverage traders?
Well, I have a question. Are we going to take this Dirty Jeeto to the moon or what? I know it's a tough week and it's been a tough environment, but here's my thought: is my girlfriend and I are going to take a walk, then we're going to make some cocktails, and if you guys are up for it, we're ready to come back and do some rating and spread the word about Dirty Jeeto, because it's pretty cool to have a little place to go and chat with some fellow traders in the meme coin space. So if you guys are up for it, we're going
Yeah,
to come back
yeah.
next hour.
Righteous. Yeah,
I
I'm
got
down
my
to.
devices
Absolutely.
charging as we speak.
Yeah, let's smash some raids. You know, we already got the moon. This legendary project is going into the galactic, fam. We're unstoppable. We're unconquerable. We got this. You know, we are based.
I'm excited. I
Ye-
want to see just how intergalactic
So
you
yeah,
guys
it's a
are.
slow grow.
Awesome.
Yep, yep. You know, fast up, fast down,
Yes.
man. It's good that we're being patient, you know. So, with that being said, I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for being here. My internet keeps cutting me in and out. I know it's probably doing that to a few of you guys. We did have a developer of another project in here. I'm not hard shelling their project. I wanted them to speak for themselves, but they probably got kicked on their own too. Um, a few of us know about it, but they claim to be a community-based project, an anti-rug community. Your own research, but I do think that as far as Unity goes, we want to stay with the people that are doing the same thing. I don't have their CA link, but they're called Kiefer Bunny, and he came in. He was I know he added some good questions and stuff, and was quick to answer too. So love you guys.
No problem. Yeah, I was looking for him a little while ago. I was gonna give him the opportunity to introduce himself, but he's more than welcome back anytime. But yeah, the Dirty Jeeto, that's why we do this. We know it's gonna be a slow grow because we have to gain the trust of the community, especially with all these Jeters and ruggers. We're encouraging people not to be dirty Jeetos and to learn how to invest responsibly and to de-risk, make sure you're taking your initials out. That way you're not risking money that's going to be detrimental to you and your family's financial future. We want to make sure that all of the newcomers that are soon to be coming in or already in the crypto market are aware of these risks and they know how to spot warning signs. Our spaces yesterday did talk about what you did, Crypto Cafe on the stop limits and all of that good stuff. So we're constantly trying to introduce these concepts, all while promoting Dirty Jeeto. It is a token that is at a very low discount right now. You're not going to be able to get this discount much longer. If you could go down our X page and see that we are consistently here every single day, we will continue to offer value to the community, and we would like you to welcome you to be a part of our community. So um, just as a call to action, we want you to come over to our Telegram group. You can find the link on our X page. Visit us in the VC, come hang out. If you're not ready to drop a bag yet, which you should because we're at a very low discount, then at least participate, see what we're all about, have some conversations. We're always engaging with a lot of different minds, and the more minds that can come together to help each other learn how to navigate the risks and the dangers in this incredibly volatile space, the better. So visit us, see what we're all about, and hang out for a while. We have some daily tasks we like you to do when you're there. Simple tasks that don't cost you any money. Smash a couple of raids, vote, and hit that rocket on the deck screener, which we just recently updated. So um, at this point, I just would like to open the floor to see if there's anybody else that has anything that they want to say. This definitely was only the tip of the iceberg on this conversation, and we've already gone past our hour. So I hope to continue this going forward. But is there anything anyone wants to add before we close out for the evening?
I just want to say thank you to Crypto Cafe. I think that was a very well presented session, and I would like to attend another one. Thank you.
Me as well. Me as well. Thank you so much. That was a very valuable knowledge share, and you are welcome back anytime.
Well, thanks, folks. Um, we've been trying to onboard folks for, I don't know, since about March or April. We've made a lot of mistakes along the way. And Skulator, myself, and Daniel from Artify Graham. We're here to support you. We're holding your coin as well, and you'll see us tonight and tomorrow in the coming week, helping kind of raise the floor in your coin, and maybe in a few days we can do a TikTok challenge or something. So we appreciate it. Thanks, Moon. Appreciate the chance.
We haven't introduced that concept yet, but I told a couple of people and they're already getting a little excited about it. So we're looking forward to that as well. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Please come back if, for those of you who were not able to join us live and you're listening to the recording, we appreciate you as well. And we are in the VC 24/7 whenever you want to stop by and say hi. So good night, and we will be here next time.
And you're giving away some coins later tonight, right?
Oh, wow. How did I forget that?
We'll see
Absolutely.
you.
We today actually launched our twice a day giveaway. So every day at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, everyone who is in our VC at that time sharp, we're taking a screenshot, totally random. We're spinning a wheel, and you can win up to 10% of your holdings in your Jeeto bag holdings, or up to 50,000 coins. We're doing that amount because our market cap is still very sensitive, but as we push and as we grow, we're going to continue to give back to the community, and that twice a day giveaway is going to happen every day from here on out until we run out of our donated supply, which right now we have a pretty large donated supply. So come have a chance to win at Jeeto, hang out with us, learn from us, and we definitely enjoy the opportunity to get to know you.